Okie dokie. So, let me get my thoughts straight. Okay, so I wanted to bring up about guilt, and I love that I'm wearing yellow for this one because the chakra that it's associated with, and what the color yellow also represents in color therapy, as well as confidence and strength, and there's a bunch of other ones, but the point that I'm trying to make, because if I go off topic, we're going to be here for a lot longer than I really have for my break. So about the whole thing with guilt, I want to bring up the fact that, do you feel deep down that sometimes you have to atone for the things that you have done, the mistakes that you have made? Do you feel like you have to make up for what you've done because you feel so guilty that you feel like you have to repent, that you have to suffer just as much, or if not more, because of any mistakes you have made or people you have hurt or things like that? Confirmation. Why I bring this up is because I feel like a lot of us feel that way when you struggle with a lot of guilt, that and it could be for anything. It could be for doing something wrong. I mean, it can go as deep as making a mistake at work, and it's not that big of a deal, but we ourselves make it a big deal. So if you are one of those like highly sensitive people that you just feel a lot, you over feel guilty, and you over feel how bad it feels because of the fact that you feel like it is way worse than what it actually is. Now, what I mean by this is the fact that I was talking to my middle daughter, and I did an earlier video about what happened with her pet bunny. With her pet bunny, she had a small accident where the bunny jerked a little bit while she was cutting her nails, the bunny's nails, and clipped them a little bit short and caused the nail to bleed. Now, if you are a parent and you have ever had to cut your infant's nails, you understand this concept because you have probably done it as well, and you just felt absolutely horrible about it. You felt so bad. You felt so guilty about it. And so with that, you just kept replaying it over and over and over and over again, and you just felt like you had to appease them. Again, I understand. I've done it myself. I also have struggled with it so much that if you are a parent that struggled with addiction and you put your kids through that whole situation, you felt like you had to give them, once you got out of it, you felt like you had to give them whatever they wanted to try and make up for the fact that you put them through hell. Same thing goes for the fact that whenever I was in my addiction, I was driving under the influence. I was drunk driving and driving on drugs, and all of this I've already pled guilty to, so just heads up. I'm not incriminating myself in any way, sort of form. I'm being honest. Full transparency. I was driving with my kids in the car with that, and for the longest time I felt like I had to atone for my sins. I had to go out and I had to overgive and everything, and I had to be like this overgiver to make up for the mistakes that I made. So part of it, some of it you can find other means to be able to do it. So a way that I did a bit of my atoning was when I was driving for Uber, I would drive a lot of the night shift people. Like, a lot of people would be drunk, and they would need a ride home from somewhere or to somewhere, and so I drove a lot of people safely to their destination. And so for me, that was kind of an atonement in a way, and I openly discussed it, because like people would ask questions, and I was very honest and very open about my journey and where I was, and what I've done and what the mistakes I've made and everything like that. And people would offer drinks, and I'm like, sorry, I'm so many years sober, or I'm in treatment still, or whatever it may be. And I would tell them why, and so people would hear my story, and then they would understand, and they would say, oh, okay, well, good on you. And so that was part of my atonement in a way that made me feel better about it. But also, I in turn was also spending a lot more time taking care of other people than really taking care of myself, and not getting as much sleep and stuff like that I could have been getting, instead of working 24/7, because I felt like I had to make up for that. But I bring this also up for the fact that my daughter, whenever I was talking to her about this, because I'm so much better at giving advice than following it myself, but that's one thing I'm working on, is emanating what I also talk about. So my daughter and I were talking, and she felt absolutely horrible still because of the fact that she made a mistake. And we were talking about it, and I was discussing with her, and I was like, okay, so do you feel like you have to atone? Do you have to make yourself suffer more just to make up for the fact that you hurt her? And she was just like, yes, I do. And I'm like, why? Because did your bunny forgive you? Is she running away from you? Is she scared of you? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay, so she has forgiven you. She would let you know if she didn't. I mean, she's very sassy, okay? She would definitely show that she didn't want to be around her. She would be like, you bitch, I'm gonna thump at you, okay? So that's how she is. And she's not. So she has forgiven you. So why can't you forgive you? You made a mistake. Do you think you're going to make that same mistake again? No. Okay, so what are you going to do next time to correct from that? And she was just like, I'm going to ask for help. You can hold her while I clip her nails. And I'm like, that's a fair trade. I like your plan. This is a new way of approaching it. And so from now on, we're going to go that way. So we can't change what we did in the past, but we can find a solution for the future. So that way we don't make the same mistake again. And forgive yourself, because she has forgiven you for that mistake. So there's no sense in feeling guilty for this any more than you already have. You've already cried your eyes out. You've already bawled and apologized profusely multiple times. So carrying it, holding on to that weight that's in your gut, holding on to it is not going to serve any purpose. It's just added extra weight. It's heavy that you don't need to carry. So set it down. Let it go. It's all good. We're going to move on, and we're going to go ahead and have a different plan of approach. And we don't need to worry about it because it's now in the past. So this is one of those things that I wanted to bring up with others in working on your guilt and things that you feel ashamed of and that you feel guilty about, and working through those things. One of the things as well is I felt so guilty about putting my kids through that stuff that I was becoming a permissive parent, and I was just allowing my kids to walk all over me. And eventually it got to a point where I had to stand up to my children and be like, hey, this is not okay. And eventually they learned through those boundaries that, hey, we can push a little bit, but she's not going to allow it. So it's not going to be perfect the first time, and you're going to struggle a lot, okay? And that's okay, because realize eventually over time forgiveness is given. even with my kids, we can joke about a lot of these things now, like the fact that they are fully aware of everything. We have been very honest with each other from the beginning, and we talk about it. We openly discuss it. Like, it's one of those things that I say, we joke about it and say, oh, is that mommy juice? Because that used to be vodka in a water bottle right next to a water bottle full of water. And so they're like, oh, you got the mommy juice in there. And I was like, shut up, that's straight water. And so we play about it, and it can be done. It's just going to take some time and, healing and, a lot of work, which it's worth it. Honestly, it's definitely worth it. So I just wanted to share this with everybody and let you know that it's okay to let go of the guilt. It's okay to release it. You don't have to constantly atone for any sins that you feel like you have done. Really think about that one. I really want you to hold on to that and question, why am I carrying this? Why do I keep carrying this guilt? And how can I let it go? Okay? I gotta get back to work because I'm already, I can't even see the time. Dang it. I'm already late. And lots of love. Stay beautiful and stay blessed, because you are both beautiful and you are blessed. And I love you, and happy healing. Bye.